And we are live with another weekly podcast, a Sunday special, for lack of better terms.
Ooh,
Unfortunately, we couldn't
there.
meet up yesterday, but we decided to go at it today. And this week, the title is We've Seen Too Many Movies. And we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're going to end it with a kind of a nice little 100 movie recap of the project we've been doing. But, just thinking
Yeah.
about our lives, Soto, we met at Blockbuster Video and there's a time we
hmm
love movies and we watch 7 to 10 movies a week. How the fuck did we pull that off? How did we watch so many movies during the week? Because I mean, I've looked
What
at my
distraction?
letterbox
Yeah.
account and it's almost at 4,000. I'm like, and I know some of it might be like
Mhm.
Doctor Who specials, and I don't know if that counts or not, but whatever. But still, it's still a shit ton of movies, Soto. Like, how did we get here? Like, how do we keep this
Yeah.
in our brains? All these movies that we've seen.
It's odd because I just saw Reservoir Dogs this morning when I woke up. So it's like I'm trying to kind of fit in movies I've already seen before. I don't know. We just grew up this way, like in the '80s. I hate to sound like old man at yelling at clouds, even though it's pretty much what we are. There wasn't really much to do, like for indoor kid like me. Obviously I played a lot of video games and I watched a lot of movies and then I went to film school for college and continued watching movies and then that led to working at fucking Blockbuster, which was, again, the early 2000s. Um, Not a whole heck of a lot of internet. So it was just putting movies on and just watching time go by. Like 7 movies a fucking week, dude. And then when I started dating Sarah, I was like 14 because obviously we'd use her free movies too. So, um, yeah, it's a lot of movies, but there wasn't anything else going on. There's no TikTok to make the time disappear or just getting into an internet hole, right? I mean, we just had time to watch movies, and I think that, correct me if I'm wrong if this is the case for you, but yeah, this is really just kind of reclaiming that time. It's like you have to specifically be like, no, I'm going to watch a movie. I'm not going to spend the next 2 hours just on my phone. I've enjoyed it so far.
Oh, there's that, and it's also way back when there wasn't really any streaming services. If we're talking about like the mid 2000s era and stuff like that, when we
Nope.
worked at Blockbuster. So when you popped in that DVD or VHS, kind of when we first
Yeah.
started, it's like a commitment because you put it in there. Yeah, you could pause it, but it's like, all right, you're right. This is the set time and I'm gonna watch this, and we'll see what happens afterwards. But now it's just like you put on Netflix, Peacock, Paramount, Max, whatever, frick, Tubi, because we love those Tubi
Oh my
specials,
God,
me and you.
Tubi.
But
Yeah.
now it's just like it's not
All
time.
the
It's
time.
just kind of a last minute thing. Because I'll be honest, we weren't sure if we were going to do this live this week. And I just told you, hey, if you're free, I'm going to be home. But I actually was getting ready to watch a movie. I was like, you know what? Because I had a movie planned. Like, it's been something I've been wanting to see for a little while. It became free again. And there's going to be this whole story, which I'm going to save for Thursday. So, about why I chose it. But yeah, I mean, when you put in a DVD, you put in a VHS, you're setting that hour and a half, 2 hours, like, this is
Yeah.
what I'm doing. And also
hmm
for me personally,
Right.
because I know you're still you're more of the night owl than I am now. I am no longer the night owl I used to be. I could be up till 3, 4 in the morning, watching movies, playing games, sleep for like 6, 7, 8 hours, get up like 11 noon, get ready to work for 3 because that's what we did at Blockbuster. I pretty much was the
Jesus.
closer. But now,
Yeah.
if
Three to
I'm
midnight.
up
Yeah.
past midnight, holy shit, is my next day ruined? So I
It's
can't.
rough. I think I recently stayed up till 12:30, and I thought I was gonna die the next day. And I hadn't even been drinking, but I went to bed at 12:30. I thought I was literally gonna die when I woke up the next day. But again, we worked different lives, to bring up your thing about 3 or 4 in the clock in the morning. I mean, when Sarah and I first started dating, we would stay up till 6 o'clock in the morning. Like the sun would come out, and that's how we would know we would have to go to bed.
Damn.
Um, I can't do that now. Like I can't
No.
I can't even imagine a world where that is fucking possible. Like if something like that, if I was staying up and the sun was coming up, an emergency happened, something that was unprompted. There's no way that would normally happen. I don't. Even if a video game had enthralled me so much, there's no way. I mean, I used to be able to play video games for like 12, 13 hours in a row. Remember those
Yeah.
days?
Oh yeah. No. No. Basically, my for lack of a better term, single life. Yeah, I on an off day, I'd be like, get up in the morning, like I got nothing else going. I'll put up in Final Fantasy. And next thing I know, it's dinner time, and I'm like, man, I just played this for 8 9. I was thinking about I was playing Lunar this morning, and I'm getting close to the end of the
Mhm.
second one, Eternal Blue, and I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, okay, I know I'm getting close to the end, because you can kind of just tell with these games, and I'm like. I'm gonna save this. Like I'm like I've already played this for like an hour or two. I did my usual Rocket League, my daily shit there, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, I gotta
Mhm.
save this because I'm like, I can't do those long, gaming sessions anymore because it's like, all right, I need to step away from the TV a little bit, relax. But but
Yeah,
even
I
even
just
be,
I can't.
yeah, but even before our Blockbuster days, Soto, I don't know how you were. Like I remember in the '90s, I used to watch so many fucking movies, whether it was just on HBO, Showtime, whatever was on TV. But I used to go to the theater a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
Once I got a job and could afford it, like me and my friends from Minnesota, we used to almost every week, every Saturday, Friday or Saturday, we would go to the Mall of America and see a flick. Like usually like an 11 midnight show. And yeah, I laughed because I remember, like, I think it was 1996, 97. I'm not going to, I don't remember which year. But you remember,
Yeah.
magazine, Soto, Entertainment Weekly. I know now we get our information off the internet, but way back, you actually had to read a fucking magazine.
Yeah,
And
you
I
did
subscribed to this,
on the
but
toilet for me.
same. But I always loved the end of the year Entertainment Weekly, and they would list like the top 100 films, grossing films of the year. And it's just
Yeah.
like, and I remember this year, I was like, oh, let me look. And out of curiosity, I marked each one that I saw in the theater. And Soto, I shit you not, it was about 70 films in
I
one
believe
year in
it.
the theater. And here we are trying to do like 100 films, for me, 100 films for you. And I'm like, man, this is a lot. We're
Hmm.
trying to crunch this in. Do I got time? But
And I'm at home. Like we're at home. Like we're
we're
not
not,
going anywhere. All we gotta
no.
do is literally turn on our TV. We have any movie. Well, okay, not really, but we have an ocean of movies at our fingertips, and it's like, do I have time? I don't know, but yeah, it used to be a whole thing. I dated this girl in high school, so it was right around that time, 1996, 1997. And every movie that came out, we were seeing every single movie. I want to say it was like the year that Fight Club came out too. I remember that summer specifically, or that year specifically, because I went into Fight Club just being like, "Oh God, we really just watch everything," because I have zero interest in this bro movie. Ended up being one of my favorite movies of all time. But I mean, to your point, we just watched everything. That was like what you did. Like there was nothing else to do. Like I really do mean that. Like yeah, I was into sports. And at the time, I was watching the Red Sox, and of course, I've been into the Patriots since like 1993. But the internet and shit like that. There's so many different things that take up that are asking for your time. And I make the joke all the time where I'm like, I won't watch a 3 hour movie, but I'll sit on TikTok for 4 hours. So I'll be like, no, I don't have time for this 3 hour movie. But when I'm on TikTok, it's like I have the illusion that I can stop whenever I want to, and typically I just don't if I just doom scroll forever. But I think that that's for me that's the major difference, and I'm happy that we can stream movies because otherwise I wouldn't. Geez, I mean, I just saw the Ballerina at the theater recently, and that's like a rare thing. But I wouldn't go out of my way to watch movies in the theater. It's too fucking expensive. It's like $15 for like two popcorns. No, I'm sorry. It was $15 for like one popcorn, a large popcorn, and a fucking water. Last time I went to the fucking movies. That was just a
Yep.
couple weeks ago.
Yep. That's how they
Dollars.
get you. That's how they get you.
Oh, the tickets weren't that bad. Like, look, you wanted two tickets for $30. That's what it was for me and Sarah. At the Loop. Um, and then we get to choose our own seats. I can live with that. But holy shit, dude! Like watching a movie on a Friday night, with a jammed theater, and then spending all that money on condiments or concessions. Oh, thanks. I just don't do that anymore. I don't know, but I mean, I saw Jurassic Park in the theater with a full audience,
Yeah. I saw that movie
and that
three
was
times.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was because back then it was like, oh my god, I've never seen special effects like this. Right? It's like the first time. Now it's like, we call out CG for looking really bad, but back then, that shit was like fucking legendary, and you had to see a movie like that in the theater because the DVD or the VHS experience just wasn't the same.
Correct. And the movie theater experience, and I know we've talked about this time and time again in our kind of 200 movie podcasts and other podcasts. I don't know if it's just we've
Yeah.
gotten older, but you said right when you said jam theater and Friday night, I was like, oh, that does not sound like fun. But you're right. Like I remember in the 90s, Jurassic Park, because I did
Yeah.
Independence Day, another one, the summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
You're like you get
Yep.
it,
Huge one.
you get the feel, not just what's going on in the movie, but just the audience reaction at the same time, whether they're laughing, awing, it was just you're immense in the experience. Now it's just like, there's not many not many movies like I I know I've gone to the movies a few times over the last 5 years, and I do reference a few, and those are just kind of
Mhm.
more, I think, family. Hey, I'm gonna go see this kids movie with my nephews, blah blah blah. I
Sure.
don't even remember the last adult movie I've seen, but it's like I can't remember the last movie I saw in theaters because I needed to see it in theaters. Because I know we saw Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Hmm. Yeah.
it should have probably been maybe Avengers Endgame, but I was like, I'll
I think
fucking
I
wait
saw
for it.
them too.
I didn't. I saw the only Marvel movies I
Infinity
saw
Wars?
in theater. I saw the first Iron Man. I know me and you saw Captain Marvel, but I think everything else I pretty much watched on streaming services because I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna be in the comfort of my own home. That is it. I didn't see any other
It's
movies that.
nothing beats it. You could pause. You can go to the bathroom. You don't have to deal with other people. It just, I went to see Ballerina the other day just because A, it was Sarah's birthday, and B, it's sometimes it is nice to get out of the house,
Correct.
um,
You need to get out of the house
and to
every
just be
once in a
part of the
while.
world.
Yes.
Right. And it's like, watch if I am gonna go watch a movie in a theater, I much prefer to watch it in the middle of the day, like, an earlier screening. It's cheaper prices. I think it was like 20% off anyways. It's just a much more chill experience. I'm not gonna hang out with teenagers. If I had seen the Minecraft movie in theaters,
I'd
I
be
mean,
pissed.
I'd be pissed, dude. Like, well, A, because the movie, but
Yeah,
B,
that's what I'm talking
people throwing shit everywhere. Like, that's not really my thing. Um, even with this movie, we'll talk about it on Thursday. But obviously, I just saw Sinners. Um, and it was a big box office thing. But I wasn't like enticed to go see this movie in the theaters because why? I'll just wait a few weeks and then I get to watch it for free on one of my streaming services that I pay for. But still, I get to watch it whenever I want to watch it, and then it's all set, right? And I think that you can get it, you can pause it. Like I said earlier, you can go to the bathroom, you can grab something from your fridge. Um, and it's not like there's no driving, like there's no anything. Because I don't know about you, but I used to do a lot of go to the movies and then afterwards, go out to eat and then talk about the movie for like 30 minutes during eating and shit like that. Like, um, but I don't have that magic, that kind of theater magic with movies anymore. In fact, the more popular something is, the least likely I want to see it in a theater. I don't really want to be surrounded by a bunch of people.
about. Yeah, people suck. Not really, but crowd. Let me rephrase that.
Uh,
Crowds suck.
Crowds are not my thing. I mean, like it's just concerts and shit like that. Like I had a buddy of mine, he took me to see Post Malone a couple years ago, and I like seeing bands live. But I used to go to bands live all the time when I was younger. I don't know if you ever went to concerts, but
Oh yeah, I've been
even
to
the
a few.
idea of
Yeah,
that, like that sucks. I'm going to a concert in August in Boston, and I'm excited to see them. One of my favorite bands, but I'm not looking forward to being surrounded by people. And then having to go to the bathroom and deal with other people and having to wait in line and seeing other people. I don't know. I'm not saying like when COVID hit, it kind of just made all my dreams come true as far as like not having to interact with people, right? Like this morning I got DoorDash and that's the world that we live in. I could have gotten in my car and gone somewhere else, but why would I do that when somebody will just drive to my house and
because
bring me a spinach feta calzone, you know?
you got to tip them and
I
pay
don't know.
extra. I don't. I've never done DoorDash. None of those. We
I
have
just do it on
never.
my phone.
Yeah,
I
no,
just do it.
I get
I
the
DoorDash
convenience of
way
it,
too much. It's super convenient. Yeah.
but I've never done it. Not once. I'm still old man. I
It's,
will
I
go.
mean,
I will go to the. I will order on the app and go there and pick it up. I've done that because you don't have to pay extra. You're like, all right, here I am at
Yeah.
McDonald's right now. Boop, 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 boop. That's it. And I feel better ordering on the app because, if you got one of those picky eaters or just something different,
Oh
you
yeah.
figure it's right down where you're saying it in front of them. You're like, are they going to understand this? Because, you take it home.
That
But
was when was the last time you called a pizza place? Besides like Christopher's or some shit.
I haven't even called that. No, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. I
Right.
mean, I'm
Hey,
sure
how you
it's
doing?
been
Can I get a large
years.
pizza? Yeah. That concept is just fucking strange, right?
All right, so yeah, and I've done. That's the only way I've done delivery. Pizza places, just because that's what they offered. Oh my god! But yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't like talking on the phone. I really don't. I try not to do it as much as possible. So
I hate it, even though I run a very phone centric kind of a job. And people will say all the time, they're like, I don't understand. You work at this call center and you don't like talking to the phones. I don't. I
nope.
really don't. I don't like calling. I don't like having to deal with that shit. I just don't because I think we joked about it on some podcasts in the past about what the drive through experience, and it's like, for me, I got to know what I want like before I even go in there, and there cannot be any deviations from the plan. I very rarely go up to the drive through and I'm like, and they're like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, hold on a second, I'm just gonna go take a look at what you want. No, I know what I want. They're like, hey, what can I help you with? I'm like, all right, I want two double stacks, no onions, no ketchup, small fry, and two 6-piece nuggets. Oh, what kind of sauce you want? Oh, sweet and sour. That's it. And my poor wife had to deal with this for years because I would drive her to work, and she would only eat a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese on the side because that's all I wanted to deal with ordering when I drove through Dunkin' Donuts on her way to work, even though she wanted to eat other stuff because I don't deviate from the plan when it comes to the drive-through.
Like there's too much pressure as it is. I like our new Dunkin's
I know.
drive-through because they at least they have the screen now, so you can see the order. I'm like, all right, I'm good with that. Because it's like, oh, I gotta get this one with a certain amount of cream,
I've
sugar, sugar.
confirmed.
I'm like, I can see this. This is, and they still fuck it up from time to time. But
Oh,
God,
of course they do. But I mean, they get paid bullshit. So I get mad, but then I'm like, what did I expect? I went to Dunkin' Donuts, I took a chance, and and some kid making $16 an hour fucked up my shit. Okay, well, better luck next time.
well,
I
I
think
always,
it's a risk you take, right?
it is. But then I always laugh because sometimes when I come home from work, I message Jill, and most of the time it's yes. Like, hey, do you want a coffee? Especially when she's off. And I don't know why I ask because I know it's always a yes, but it's just out of habit now. But I joke because sometimes bring it home and she'll be like, "Oh, this tastes like shit." I'm like, "What do you expect? It's the C minus team of Dunkin' Donuts because you go there in the afternoon. It's not their top employees are working in the morning. No, that's it. You
Yes,
go there in the morning. They're
A
quick.
shift.
Yes, the A plus shift. They're like, hey, these are the people we need. Get in and out because again not many people are going to Dunkin' Donuts in the afternoon for like a breakfast item. I have occasionally been like, what, I'll get a
No.
bagel or, something, that's fine. But you know what? For the most part, it's not busy. In the morning, yep, it's busy as hell. So, oh, excuse
Busy
me.
as fuck. I mean, sometimes this line goes out to the street. It's just like, no. I mean, I make my coffee at home. I don't know if you do or not, but every morning I wake up and I make my own coffee just because I didn't want to deal with dunks. I mean, for years, my first thing was to go to Dunkin' Donuts and grab um, a large iced extra extra. Um, I don't even know if you can order that anymore, but it was extra cream, extra
Oh,
sugar.
yeah, you can order whatever
Shit
you
looked
want.
like it was tan as fuck. And I would do that all the time. And now, like, if it's seasonal, I'll go to Dunkin's. Like if I for some reason I feel like you're not a pumpkin spice guy, but I am.
Oh, God, no, no,
Um,
no, no.
I,
Neither Jill.
why am I not surprised?
Because it's
But
fucking nutmeg. That's what it is. It's fucking nutmeg. That's all it is. Uh,
I like nutmeg, okay, and cinnamon mixed together. All right, I know it's not pumpkin, but when I taste pumpkin, because I'm a basic bitch, when I taste the pumpkin, quote unquote, I'm like immediately. It just immediately takes me to my happy spot. Like it's nostalgic, like flavors and smells, can bring back nostalgia. That's what pumpkin does to me. And I get pumpkin mocha. That's my mix. But I mean, that I will do as a treat to myself. Most times I'm just drinking black coffee every single morning. Like no milk, no sugar, just black coffee because I had a lot of issues with acid reflux and black coffee was just the one thing that I could drink that like was fine. So that's how I start my mornings. But having to wait into a Dunkin' Donuts line at like 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, no, no thanks.
Yeah, no, I don't do the morning trip anymore. Unless I'm off. Like this morning, because we were both off. That's when I'm like, okay. But for the most part,
It's a treat.
I'm not a big fan of hot coffee. I have used to drink it, but I prefer cold. And International Delight has these like cartons, and I just buy a big carton and then fill in my mug because it keeps it cold, and I just drink that throughout the day. I have like one of those
Yep.
stainless steel not a Stanley cup. My daughter bought me like a Chicago Bears one, but kind of similar. And that's what I do. I got my straw. I don't add anything to it. I just fill it up.
Hmm.
Take it and go. So yeah, I don't want to deal with the line, but yeah, when I worked Blockbuster, CVS, every time beforehand, I
Oh
would
my
go to
God,
Dunkin'
dude.
Donuts, bring in the
Every
I do
day.
mocha. Mocha is my go-to now. French vanilla, yeah, I do
Oh,
like that. That's about it for me. Um, yeah, I'm a big mocha guy. Pumpkin, no. I like the only thing pumpkin I think I would like is a pumpkin pie. And even, so I'm good with a good piece of pumpkin pie, and that's
I
about
love
it.
pumpkin pie.
But as a pumpkin
Oh,
spice
pumpkin
drink,
cheesecake.
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say I hate it or love it because I don't think I've ever really had it. Because here's the thing, Soto. I love cheesecake, and I'm
Mhm.
big. Just give me the traditional strawberries. I don't do the cherries, but strawberries.
Yeah.
That's my go-to. Have you
Strawberries.
ever been to the
Yeah.
cheesecake factory?
Oh yeah, of course.
They have like what 100 fucking different flavors. What the fuck do you need?
Yeah,
Like, and I've tried a couple different ones. I remember like, okay, well, let me go away from my usual, and I'm like, it's not bad. I'm fine with the original. Just give me the graham cracker crust. Give me the cheesecake.
New
Like I
York
said,
style.
New York style.
New York
Even if it
style.
doesn't have strawberry or
Yep.
whipped cream, I'm fine. But those are basically it. If it happens to come with cherry, I'm okay with it. I'm not as I prefer strawberries and cherries, but I'm like I can deal with this. It's a minor step back, but it's not a major step back. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Back to your question, I don't know if I like a pumpkin spice cheesecake. I've never or pumpkin cheesecake. I've never tried it. Um, if it's there, yeah, I will. It's like those variety ones at like Market Basket where they have like the original, like the four different flavors. I get the swirl. I think I like the
Yeah.
chocolate. I've done
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes.
But to me,
Hmm.
I gotta just go back to the classic, the original. It's all you need out of a fucking cheesecake if it's good. Oh,
How the fuck did we get on cheesecakes? Where did we go?
everything goes back to food. Everything always goes back to food. But all right, let's bring it back to
It finds
movies.
its way back there.
Let's
It finds
all
its
right.
way
So
back there every time.
before we get into because I wanted to do a recap of like the 100 movies that we've seen so far this year. But I have a question for you. I was trying to think of something. Now you kind of answered
Sure.
one of them earlier. About in your life this has nothing to do with the 100 movies, just in general. But you said that Fight
Hmm.
Club
Sure.
surprised you. But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Because I think I already have
Hmm.
an answer. What's a movie that you hated or disliked that everyone loved? Now, I'm not, just I'm not talking about like maybe the Twilight or those kind of films, but just a movie you heard so many good things about, and it's not that it overhyped it. Just you might have seen it with everyone else. You're like, that's not as good as you just didn't like it as much because we've watched those movies where it's
Yeah.
been overhyped and we're just disappointed or with high hopes. Get so let me ask you, what is just a movie that everyone's loved, but for some reason you hate it?
Yeah. You're not going to be surprised because you've heard me say this before, but definitely the Pirates movies, the
Oh,
franchise.
that's true. Yeah.
I don't understand the allure with the Pirates movies. I don't. And yes, I can understand that Johnny Depp, his performance is great in that, but I never liked Pirates of the Caribbean. I thought it was quite boring, and I never got into the whole vibe of it. That's really the biggest kind of pop culture movie that I can think of that I'm just like, no, the Pirates movies are just not. They're not it for me. I'm sure there are others. I know I like movies that other people don't like, and this kind of brings up another topic that I wanted to bring up with you, and it is related.
Go ahead. I mean
And we
that
won't
we're
talk
here
about
live. No,
cheesecake.
no, yeah, bring it up.
No,
Well,
no cheese, no egg salad sandwich conversation. But this is something I want to ask you because it's something that has happened recently that it kind of triggers me and it makes me kind of I
oh,
don't know.
oh,
It's the
oh.
worst part about movies. But um, when I was younger, when I was in film school, I did have um a healthy desire to debate things that I liked. And, I know that there was a lot of this stuff when obviously talking about Tarantino and then talking about Clerks, right?
Hmm.
It's like debating the things that you like with other people, like movies in particular. I find it to be really like aggravating. Like I have no desire anymore. Like if I like a movie, right, and you're like, you shouldn't like that movie, it's trash, I'm just gonna ignore you.
Hmm.
Because it's a fucking movie. Like I'm not it's really not that serious. Like obviously we've seen a lot of movies together, we've done Rotten Taste and all that, but I'm not interested in debating whether or not like I like a movie and you're not going to be able to change my mind about how I feel about a movie. So why would I even engage in an argument back and forth? It's kind of like politics, right? I don't want to. Like sports is a different story because stats, the numbers don't lie. Like you either win or you don't win, right? With sports, and that's what I like about sports. You can make if the Chiefs had won the Super Bowl, right? I would have been like, you're right, okay. That I have to say that I lost that debate, right? Like, there's no way for me to argue my way out of that. But I just think that debating movies or people saying, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't like this movie. Like this was such a good movie." Like it really just kind of triggers me. Have you ever
So let me
like
ask
run
something.
into that kind of feeling yourself?
Well, let me backtrack and get a little more backstory of your question here, because this is going to be on.
Hmm.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but you brought up film school.
Okay.
So I want you to go
Yes.
back to 18, 19-year-old Soto. Okay. Not old man
Oh
Soto
God.
with old man Chad here. Okay. Let's not, but I want film school
Uh-huh.
Soto. Did you
Okay.
debate films there?
Yep.
And because obviously
Yeah, all
you're
the time. All the time.
about what. So this is going to be a very hot take. I think it's
Hmm.
because, and I do not get me wrong, I'm part of this too. When I was younger, I did not go to film school, but yes, I was heavily wanted to be a filmmaker and stuff like that. So, but I think it's that time of our
Hmm.
lives. I think, and I'm trying to find the right words. So when we were younger in film school, it's almost like we had to prove that we belonged. Like it's our
Yeah.
vision,
No,
and
that's
I think that's
perfect.
why the debate
Yep.
happens because you're right. Me and you, we both have talked about this. Pulp Fiction's our favorite movie. One, maybe whatever. Ever since the way the style and stuff like that, and someone could come along and like, oh my god, the storytelling was all over the place. It didn't make sense. I hated it. They bring up a good point. It's not for them because the story was told a little out of
Sure.
order. But it now go
Hmm.
back to 18-year-old Soto. If someone told you, "Oh, Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction doesn't make sense," that's like one of the worst movies you said. You would flip your lid on
Hmm.
that shit, would you not?
I would.
Just
This is exactly what I would tell people. I would be like, if you don't like my opinion about this movie, then I have to question whether or not you even know what movies are. That's the kind of hostility that I would bring to these topics. And one, you bring up Tarantino, one of the most divisive ones that was in my film class and with my film like colleagues was when Kill Bill Volume 1 came out. Now, when Kill Bill Volume 1 came out, okay, I watched it in the movie theater and I was fucking blown away. I still am. I mean, I'm older now, but it was like a fucking tremendous cinematic experience. Like it's like when a movie just hits you the right way, right? And speaks to your personal journey and where you are in life. And we've talked about this many times on many, many episodes. But when it hits that right chord, it's like a fucking like a song does. It doesn't you don't end up just liking it like you like vanilla ice cream. It ends up becoming a part of your fucking soul. And to your point, when I was 18, 19 years old, and I had a mohawk and I was cosplaying as Robert De Niro and Taxi Driver pretty much each and every day of my life, I felt like I had to defend that. And when Kill Bill came out, I came out and I was like, oh my God, like Moses carrying the fucking tablets from the mountain and being like, I have come to deliver what I feel is the greatest piece of cinema. And my friends were like, I don't know what you're talking about. That movie sucks. Like it was such a visceral fucking response for me because I was like, it almost invalidated who I was as a person. At least back then. I'm not as mature now. I'm not saying I'm mature, but it's not that serious anymore. But yeah, man, like I really would go to fucking war with people if they didn't like my opinions. It's funny because I would never reach across the aisle and try to be convinced by somebody else's opinion. It was pretty much like, if you don't have my same movie taste, then you can't even like breathe the same air that I do. And that is toxic. So like I hate that. I hate that now. I that was a part of me that um it was, I mean, obviously I was insecure and I'm young. And like you said, I'm like defending like my ego and my pride, and I hate that now. I'm glad I have a much better relationship with movies, than I did back then. But I can't, like, if somebody tries to shit on my shit right now, I'm just like, you know what? I have no patience for it.
It's definitely different
Fucking movie.
nowadays. I mean, again, because maybe we have matured and we realize, everyone's got their own opinion, and that's okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
because,
serious.
especially working at Blockbuster, just because obviously customers, and we used to be like, this will fit you. I'm like, not for me, but this will fit you, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
but no,
Hmm.
I mean, I think and I always remember when I was in video production in high school, because Pulp Fiction was what, 94. Because I didn't see Pulp Fiction in theaters.
Yeah.
I know it took a little bit. So there's a lot of the seniors who already seen it, and I hear things, and then that's where it all started because they were just so high up. Like they almost had a stick in their ass about it, and I was like, "Damn," I'm
Hmm.
like. But then as I got older and into it, it's like you said, I had to validate my points because I'm like, I want to be taken seriously as a filmmaker, and so you're like, this is what makes a good film. But I think that's
Yeah.
that's the reason
Yeah.
because again, going back to 16, 17, 18, 19-year old us, that's what we want to do, and we're
Yeah.
like, well, no, this is right. I'm like, maybe it's not for you, but this is what makes a good film. And now it's like, well, who's to say? Well, now they make all these fucking shits. We talked about Tubi specials, but then it was a different
Hmm.
story because not everything was made. So no, now I could care less. Like I will have fun debates, just like because like going back to your Pirates of the Caribbean thing. From what I remember, like I
Hmm.
enjoyed the first one. It was to me the first one was a very popcorn flick. Johnny Depp was just hilarious in some scenes, and I'm laughing. So I
Yeah,
that is the middle of the road.
for
I
sure.
didn't love it. I didn't hate it. The other two films, what is? I quit after film three. Because I'm like, whatever. Maybe it
Hmm.
got too much, or maybe just because I forget if it was no depth, whatever happened. But yeah, I don't remember much from the films. I think I remember the first one more. I just remembered, hey, this is a fun film, and that's how I considered it. Does that mean,
Hmm.
am I gonna shit on you because you hate it? No. Like for me, like I always remember this because I think it came out maybe when I first started Blockbuster. I could be wrong, but the movie Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro, everyone
Yeah,
fucking loved that movie, and I'm like,
I thought it was hilarious.
I hated it. I thought it was the most cliche movie comedy I've seen. It was so cringe. I actually enjoyed Meet the Fockers, the sequel, more than Meet the Parents because it brought something new and different in. I thought Dustin Hoffman and Barbara Streisand were hilarious, and I thought they breathed life into that. But the first one,
Surprised
I'm
you saw the
watching.
second one.
I gave it. Well, I worked at Blockbuster. We watch everything.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I didn't care
true.
if it was shit or not. I'm like free rental, okay. So I think that's why,
It's
because
free. Yeah,
but that's the thing. That was our jobs. We were supposed to tell people. So yeah, I wasn't looking
yeah.
forward to it, but I'm like, fuck it. I was like, I think I put it on. We watched it and whatever. Like I said, I'm like, this is a lot better. But the first one, I was like, every joke, every like I said, and we've talked about. I've had a few movies, like Lift. Speaking or it's just I didn't think anything was original. Like everything was just I've seen, and the whole father hey you can't date my it was just don't get me wrong, De Niro's great in a lot of things. Ben Stiller can be funny. I just hated that movie. I'm like I don't care, but Meet the Fockers, I'm like that was a lot better. But yeah, so I always go to that one when people like movie that a lot of people love that I hated that one. I don't know why. Just I was like, why do people love this? Whatever. And now it's just like, yeah, that's fine. It is what it is. But I'm like, it's not going to change my opinion. It was just unoriginal to me. So,
Well, I kind of feel that way, and I don't know if you have. I don't. I've only ever seen the first movie in this franchise, but on Max they have all the Hunger Games now.
oh,
Um,
yeah.
did I miss all that? Like, what was that like actually liked by people? Like Hunger
My
Games?
wife's huge in the Hunger Games. She read all the
How
books.
did I know?
Um, well, all right. So I'll tell you the story from what I can remember. So obviously
Sure,
this came out after like the Twilight books and all that stuff, and I think a lot of people are trying
sure,
to
yeah.
compare it because the young teen. And I think Jill was just trying not to, at first, like, yeah, I don't know, because, Twilight shit. In my opinion, if you love Twilight, great, but, whatever. I couldn't even get through 15 minutes of the first film. So yeah, someone
No.
bought. I think she read the first book and she instantly fell in love with it. She thought it was a great
Mhm.
story, and she just missed it in theaters. Like it just left theaters after she read the book. She's gone on to
Like the
read all
first
the
one?
book. Yes. Um,
Yep.
so yes, the instant became available to rent. I think she bought it that day. Went home, watched it twice. Loved the film. Loved the adaptations because she said the way the scenery and everything like that. Just the environment was in her mind. Like how she pictured the book, a lot of the scenes is how they did it, and she thought it was well done. So yeah, and obviously the
Wow.
third
Rare.
book, I think they divided it into two. So yeah, I think we saw.
It did, yeah.
I think I saw Catching Fire. We with her. I mean, I obviously saw the first one, but I think the next three we end up seeing in theaters. I could be wrong about Catching Fire, but I know I watched them all with her, and I know there's a couple spin-offs, and there's actually a new one coming out in a year or two, which she's really excited for. So we'll probably end up seeing that. I don't know if we'll see it in theaters. It depends if she wants to go out and the crowds or not, but we'll definitely probably see it. But yeah, no, there's definitely people that loved it because it's very different than, again, it came out of time right after Twilight, so I think there's those weird young teen comparisons, but this was
Yeah.
much better. Like I never read the books, but the movies, I was fine with the movies. I enjoyed it. I understood it. Yes, there's probably some small things I didn't get because they had to cut it out, as they tend to do with movies or based on books.
Of course.
So, and
Yeah.
I can tell you, so yeah, you know, are they list my favorites?
They're
Oh,
all
but
on Max.
yeah, no, I mean, again, I gave Twilight a shot because it came out when I was at Blockbuster, but so did I. I'm dead say 15, 20 minutes in, I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. People know what it is. I just couldn't. But yeah, the Hunger Games movies I did see, and yeah, we'll probably see like it's a not a prequel, but it basically a story about how there's a character played by Woody Harrelson. I forget his name. My wife might kill me if she hears this, but yeah, it's basically how he won the. You kind of know that because his story is, he won these tournaments like 25 years before them or 24. So it's like how his year when this took event. So Hamish, that's his name. It came to me. Yeah. So yeah, no, people love it. So is it, well? I think it's more for an older crowd, or I know we talked about being mature, but I'm going to be immature in this moment. It's more for a mature crowd than those Twilight people. But but then again,
Twilight's pretty mature.
eh, I know I'm just shitting on it. But you know what? I mean, I'm one to talk because I read all 7 Harry Potter books. I love the Harry Potter films. I know you don't. I know Jill never got into it, but I think I kind of immersed myself in that world. So I
I never
don't
had
know.
a
It
problem
depends.
with them. I just kind of,
It wasn't for
it didn't
you. No.
it didn't grab me. You know what I mean? Like, that's okay.
Yeah. No. It's
I think that's
100%
the whole
okay.
point of this conversation. It's like you like what you like, and that's it. But you knew when we were in our early 20s and we're watching movies that are parroting these things back to us, right? Like that kind of Tarantino, Kevin Smith culture of just being like, no, you've got to have opinions on Star Wars and shit. I mean, now I have opinions on Star Wars. I'm not happy to have my opinions on Star Wars. We've talked about this many times. But I just think that whole kind of battle thing back and forth, it's like you're gonna like a movie. It's a personal experience. It's you in the movie. If you're in a theater, it's you and a bunch of people. But you're always gonna be framing any piece of anything that you consume, with your own personal like experience and life story. I didn't understand that when I was 18, 19 years old. You know what I mean? How could you? I don't think I wasn't even ready legal to have a drink yet. There's been a lot of alcohol since 21. Um, so yeah, I just think that, you like Jill likes Hunger Games. Great. I just have never, I wanted to watch it the other day, but then I looked at the
So,
time, the running time, and it was like two fucking something hours. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
all right, yeah, they are a little bit. They are over 2 hours. So you never actually attempted the first one yet, correct?
I
So
think I
the
saw the first one. I'll tell you that I forgot about it. Like I can't even tell you, like if you quizzed me on it, I know that I don't even know if I know this from the trailer or from watching the movie about her being like, I offer myself as tribute. I don't know if I just know that because of pop culture.
pop.
But
That's definitely
you know
by
how like
pop
you've seen
culture, but
movies,
there's a big reason behind
you,
it. But
you
yes,
but you've seen movies that you don't remember at all.
Yeah, so it's
You've
funny
seen
you say.
them. They're in your letterbox. You don't fucking remember them at all. Like you could, if you were quizzed on them, you'd be like, I was there, but I guess it's just deleted as soon
So,
as I
so it's
saw
funny you mentioned that because I
it.
have this in my notes, for the when we were going to do the 100 movie recap, and I'm bringing this up now. I have a plan for
Yeah.
next year, Soto. I can't really do it this year because
Next year.
no, well, because we're watching the 200 movie challenge. We're doing the 200 movie challenge, watching
Yes.
movies. So it's like you. It's
Mhm.
like I don't have time to put this in, but
Mhm.
there's a movie I am going to be watching either tonight or tomorrow. It's for the next podcast we do. And
Mhm.
I don't want to get into it because I want to save a lot of it, but it made me think of other movies similar or and I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this in theaters. And I'm like, I could not tell you about the film. So next year, you remember, so remember like whatever it was, one of our podcasts, you were talking about a movie. I think it may be Crazy Samurai, the 400 versus one, the one shot movie. And I
Yeah.
brought up Time
Yeah.
Code. But I brought up Time Code. And you're like,
Yes.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you much about Time Code.
No.
I remember going to Blockbuster the day it was released. I remember asking the employees, hey, did you get this? It just came out today. They forgot to put it on the new release wall. And I remember seeing it. I remember saying that was it. But why was it so interesting? So next year, I want to find the forgotten movies, and I want to do almost like a rewatch and review. Because there's other ones which I'm going to talk about Thursday, and you'll see why all this ties together.
Yeah.
But I want to be like, why did not? I don't want to do the popular ones like Sandlot, Goon, things that are part of our nostalgia, childhood that we might have watched
I
time,
just watched that.
but just like a movie that we might have seen once, and it's not a shit movie but we really wanted to see it, and it's been lost in time. Because I know in our 200 movie challenge, we've talked about movies. No one's going to talk about this in 5 years, but why isn't someone going to talk about it in 5 years? So and hard
Yeah.
part might be finding it, and a couple of these I might pay for, but kind of like Time Code. I kind of want to see Time Code again now. I'm like, why? Why did I want to go to? Because I
I
know
do too.
I remember the concept, and I know that was the reason. Because I also was very big in the show 24, because that came out. I think the first season was out when Time Code came out. So the whole idea that it takes place in one shot, obviously no cuts, and it's real time wasn't there. But I'm like, was it even that good? I can't remember. I just remember the four squares, lack of better terms, and just that was the movie. So yeah,
I
next
remember
year.
having a
So,
positive feeling. That's it. It's just I was positive, but I can't remember anything else.
but you can't remember why you were positive for it, and I do. So that's what I want to do. I
No.
want to see find movies that not bad movies, but movies I wanted to see that I might have seen in theaters that I liked but never saw again. Even like Four Rooms. I kind of want. I have not seen
Yeah.
that again since I saw that in theaters. I kind of watched a couple scenes here and there on YouTube, especially the end of Tarantino's,
But you
because it
like
was
it.
fucking hilarious to me. But it's like I don't remember much of the other rooms, like vaguely. So, but that's the idea. So next year I want to start like doing the forgotten movie reviews. Just a movie I thought I loved, I've seen once, but I can't remember why. Like, why did I want to see this? Why? What was it even about? Because as we were doing our letterbox and we're filling those movies
Yeah.
in. I only remember this because it
Mhm.
popped up. I know you don't do Facebook, but every now and then, hey, you said this, whatever, and I said the movie Change Up was hilarious. I don't even remember what the fucking movie was Change Up. I actually did not add that to my letterbox because I couldn't remember if I saw it. But I said I saw it, so I know I
Yeah.
did, and I looked. I'm like, oh, I think that was like Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. I don't remember shit about it,
Mhm.
but yeah, so hence spoiler for basically 2026. Because I know we're not going to do the 200 movie challenge because at least we're going to back away from it and probably just do watch movies we've seen. But I want to do the forgotten movies. So once in a while. I'm not saying every week. I want to find a movie that
Yeah.
like Time Code and a couple more movies I'm going to talk about Thursday and be like, I want to know. I want to know why I like this. Why did I forget about this? Why can't I remember it? And just see should have been lost in time, or is it actually something people should revisit? So yeah, no, I
Yeah.
maybe it's
Good
just
one.
old man Chad, but yeah, Time Code, I would watch that again. I don't remember shit about it, but I would definitely watch it again.
Or like movies that, and not, the forgotten thing is fine, but I think another thing is movies that you used to watch all the time and you haven't watched them in like 20 fucking years.
Well, that was
Like, why does that happen?
kind
You
of
know what
like
I
our
mean? Like
run
movies that you used
taste.
to love. Yeah, no. Well, so I was out to dinner last night and they were playing Happy Gilmore, and I wasn't staring at Happy Gilmore. I had my back to it, but I knew exactly what was going. I've seen Happy Gilmore. I don't even tell you. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen Happy Gilmore, but I pretty much have the movie like memorized. So I know exactly what's going to happen when I've seen it that many times. And so, but I haven't seen the movie Happy Gilmore in its entirety in probably like 10 fucking years.
Same. A lot of those, like Billy Madison, just a lot of his movies. So, but yeah,
Like
that's
Tommy
it.
Boy, all that
Oh
stuff,
my
you
God,
know?
Tommy Boy, I would love to revisit that one.
So
I would,
funny. So fucking
yeah.
funny.
I mean, that's one that I used to do the why I suck as a salesman pitch. I would just pull that out, let me say, and then I would, just I would go all Chris Farley on it and just be like, you know,
It's fucking great. I mean, I love that whole David Spade, Chris Farley era of films. I mean, really, that at that time of SNL was like really kind of peak for me. That
oh
was when I
yeah.
like Michael Myers was doing shit. Or Mike Myers is doing shit back in the day too with his run, and it's been a bit since stuff like that has happened. I don't know. Um, we'll see. But yeah, no, I've forgotten films. I'm sure the biggest problem for me is remembering which films that I've forgotten.
But that's a good thing about streaming services, or you kind of as you're scrolling through, something might catch your eye. Or like I said, this was because I was doing a little research for the next movie, right? And I'm like, I know why I wanted to see this. Why did I forget this? And then it
Yeah.
kind of popped up, and the only reason it popped up is because it became free again. Because like you, I think we talked about this every month. It's like, what's new to Tubi? What's new to Prime? What's new to Netflix? And I kind of read
Oh
through
yeah.
because
Oh
I
yeah.
still have like
Yeah.
3 or 4 movies like I want to see. I just don't want to pay for. But
Hmm.
like if they end up being free, I would love to see it. Like Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. I've heard so many shit things about it. The instant that becomes free for me, because I think it's on one streaming service I don't have, like Stars or something. I'm like, I want to see it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone about it. They even asked, "Hey, did you see this?" Because I've seen pretty much most of the Resident Evil movies, and the animated ones are the only good ones. But I'm like, yeah, no. For some reason, that kind of just got by me. So, but yeah, this one I saw. I'm like, holy shit! And then that's why I started researching other connected films and stuff like that. But then it got me thinking, like, what, next year when I'm not trying to bust in 2, 3, 4 films a week, just to make sure we get to 200.
Yeah.
The feeling like when you just sit back, like I
Yeah.
just want to watch this. Yeah, I want to do that. Kind of like you, just movies we haven't seen in a while or forgotten movies. But
Yeah. I mean, even today, I feel like I'm just like, oh god, we gotta watch tonight. Like I had to pre-pick a movie earlier today, so I was looking at other kind of streaming services this morning and being like, this is I have to look at this in the morning and decide what I'm going to watch for later so that I can keep up with my godforsaken quota for the 200 movie challenge.
so,
Some weeks are easier than others. Some weeks it's like, like I wanted to watch Reservoir Dogs because of Michael Madsen, RIP.
oh yeah,
And so I happen to have Paramount Plus, and that's where Reservoir Dogs is. And I watched that this morning, and then I wasn't expecting to have the reaction to Sinners that I had, which was I ended up watching it on Friday night, and then I just couldn't stop thinking about it for the entire day on Saturday. So yesterday I just thought about Sinners all day long. I replayed scenes in my head and music and shit like that. It really had a chokehold on me, and then I saw it again, which I don't remember the last time that I watched a movie and then I watched it again the next day.
yeah.
I
I mean,
remember that. I
I
really don't remember doing that. I just had to do it. It got in my mind. It was like a mind virus.
I can't remember the last time that's happened to me. I remember when I got The Matrix on DVD. I think I ended up watching that twice in the same day.
Did you see it in the theater or did you only see
No,
it on
I did
DVD?
not see that in theater. Because I think that movie came out in '99, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes,
'99,
I saw it in
2000,
the
around
theater.
there.
Yep.
Um,
I
so
wasn't
I think
expecting
I
anything when I
was
went in. I was like, this looks dumb. And then when I walked out, I was like, I'm stupid. This movie is a classic.
I think I was in the middle of a move, and a lot of things were happening at that time.
Yep.
So I don't. I remember buying it when it first came out on DVD because disposable income when we were younger. We're like, fuck it.
Sure.
And obviously I heard great things about it. So yeah, I remember buying it on DVD. And I think I was living with my dad. My sister was over, and I think I watched it once and then watched it once with her or something like that. But I think I watched it twice in the same day because I was like, damn, sometimes you just want to see extra things or just things that you might have missed. But I can't. It doesn't
Yeah,
happen a lot.
exactly.
I even at like back to back days watching the same movie, I'm like, I can't even tell you the last time it might
I
have
know,
happened.
right? Oh, dude, trust me, I was just as surprised as you would be. I didn't expect that, but it just hit me. And of course, I'll go into more details on Thursday. But um, like I said earlier, it resonated with me at a perfect like wavelength in my brain. I don't know how else to describe it. And when something does that, it's for me and my just the way that my brain works. It's like you get I get a song stuck in my head, and I can't stop thinking about that song. And I
Yeah.
just wear it out. Same thing for me with movies. If I fall in love with a movie, man, I fall in love fucking hard. Um, which is probably why I'm always so guarded. But I when I fall in love with a movie, man, I fall in love fucking big time. And yeah, like I mean, it was now it's like I got it out of my system. I'll watch it twice, but any movie that I watch twice, I have to put it at you know exactly how I have to rank it on my list. So
It'll be up there.
there's there.
So let's deviate to our 200 movie challenge.
Yeah.
This past Thursday, we talked about our 100th film. And even though it has not, um, even though it has not appeared on YouTube yet, yeah, Minecraft movie, but 100 films total. We've seen 100 films. That's fucking
To
insane.
go find. Yeah, for us, yeah, absolutely. This is like, just we said we are gonna do it, and it's actually a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. Well, I regret. I take that back. Some weeks are easier than others.
Well, yeah, because we've missed some weeks and we've had to talk about like 9 movies, but overall, we are on like the perfect pace. Like, we're not far ahead, we're
Yeah.
not far behind. It's like we should hit this. But I kind of wanted to do a fun little recap, because now that we've
Hmm.
seen 100 different movies and maybe pick apart each other's lists or ask each other questions. But we've talked about this time and time again. Why you suggested this because we barely have watched movies and kind of it started as a joke and now here we are. Um, but let me ask you. So let's just get what outside of Sinners because we haven't officially talked about that yet. But what
We
movie
sure have
on
not.
your list surprised you the most, and you loved it, and you had to rank it high? What movie did you think wasn't going to be that good,
Oh,
but you actually loved it, and it's higher? It doesn't have to be obviously top two or three, just something that you is a lot higher than what you thought you were going to rank it when you went in.
uh, I mean, dude, like I did not think that watching a Godzilla movie was gonna be one of the best movies that I've seen this year. Uh, why would I? Um, like I wasn't that had zero hype for me, and I'm like, okay, like I just want to watch a Godzilla movie. Boy, was I fucking surprised when I saw that movie. And everything that happened in that movie. That was by far my biggest surprise. I think Paddington 2 it had some overhype to it in the Paddington movies in general, but Godzilla was one that came out of really of left field for me. I did not expect that movie was going to be as good as it was. My biggest overreaction for the year was probably Hell or High Water. Where when I first saw that, I was like, "This is the best movie I've seen." And maybe it was at the time, but the more distance I had from that movie, the farther it fell on my list. Um, so that's yeah. So Hell and High Water and Godzilla minus one are both kind of these weird little surprises that I've had as I look at my list right now. This year, I mean, I pretty much knew where Eraserhead was gonna end up, or Eraserhead two. Um, I'm sorry, Terrifier 2. I apologize.
I was like
But
Eraserhead
yeah,
too.
no, no. Let me tell you right now, of all the movies that are on my list, Chad, and I have some bad ones.
Oh yeah, we both
Even
do.
though Eraserhead is in my top 10, it's probably the most movie that I would never see again, if that makes sense. Because it was so disturbing.
No, I can understand that because I know I've talked about this from time to time. The movie The Whale, which is probably a different kind of style, but just I can't. I don't think I could ever go back and watch it. There's some scenes that are very hard to watch, but I loved it. I thought the movie and the point it was trying to make was well done. So that's why it's
Mhm.
high for me. The movie that shocked me the most, and if I might say, is Uncharted for me, because And the reason, part of it was just because I went in
I
on
feel like I
like
have to watch this now.
please don't. We have to get because it does. If you we watch the same movies, we're almost yes, it goes to like you're 100, but we can't really make you can't add it twice. But I think part of it's
Yeah.
just because I love the video game series. I've played every Uncharted video game, even like the DLCs, the side quests, and Nathan Drake is such a great video game character. And I thought when they originally talked about this years ago, and Nathan Fillion was being talked about, like that is such a perfect fit. But obviously, by the time they got to making it, Fillion was a little bit
Yeah.
older, and yeah,
Very
Mark
ancient.
Wahlberg
Yeah.
plays Sully, and they're just like, oh god, Mark Wahlberg's in this, and like Tom Holland, because again, Tom Holland, great actor and stuff like that, but pretty much he's Spider Man to me. He might not ever get out of
Oh
that role.
yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
went into Uncharted really thinking that I was gonna fucking hate this film. And Tom Holland won me over. Marky Mark, I call Marky Mark still. I don't care. That's what I always call Mark Wahlberg. But
I do too.
he's always Marky Mark in his films. He was.
Hmm.
I would have liked an older guy for Sully, but I think just the action set pieces were great. It made you feel like you were watching the video or playing the video game again. And Tom Holland won me over. There are some parts. Yeah, Nathan Fillion might have done better. Different kind of charisma, but I enjoyed the shit out of it. It is a popcorn flick. But it was so fun, and I was entertained. And I think once I got out of my bias of how they cast this movie, I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm actually enjoying the shit out of this. So yeah, if there's any movie that surprised me, because again going in, I figured this might be like that middle of the row. Maybe not the shittiest movie, but not the best. But I was surprised. I was surprised that I liked Uncharted as much as I did. So
I bet that I can guess what movie you
disappointing.
thought was going to be really good, but ended up being one of the worst
I
movies
ha-
that you've seen all year.
I
I can
had
guess
this
this one.
I have this written down, Soto, and there's two answers. And believe it or not, I think the one you're going to guess is actually number two. It's not my main answer, but let's see. I will answer this. Go ahead. So
Wow.
what is your guess?
Well, obviously, I have to guess Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
but now let me retort to why. Yes, I was very disappointed in that, but it's not my most disappointing movie, and I'll get to that in a sec. When I saw Beetlejuice, we've heard a lot. We go back to saying, the hype, expectations, and this movie wasn't doing well. Like a lot of people are like, they shouldn't have done it, So you hear that, and it brings your expectations low. And yes, it is in my opinion, not a good flick. I have said this in the review. They wasted Michael Keaton. Jenna Ortega is really the savior. Her storyline is the savior, and I think they should have built on that. They had way too many characters, way too many stories, and they did not tie it in well. Winona
Mhm.
Ryder, I mean, again, even she, they start off well with her. It's a believable story what happened in between the first film and this film. I don't know. There's just a lot of disappointment. But I say that, Soto. So, yes, that is one. And the second film that disappointed me and might have disappointed me a little bit more because, again, I wasn't expecting as much, but I thought I would laugh more, and that is Dumb and Dumber 2. Now, I was not
Dumb
expecting it to
Number
reach the
40.
heights of the first Dumb and Dumber, which is a
Mhm.
brilliant film. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels holds his own against when Jim Carrey was at his peak. Because that, the Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, I know I'm probably missing a film in that era. That's when Jim Carrey was peak comedian. He was just at the top of the hill. And Jeff Daniels held
Mhm.
his own. Now, again, I did not expect this to be as good, but I thought with those two, I'd be laughing my ass off at parts, just being immature, because there is a movie on my list, Happy Time Murders, which is not a good film, but I'm immature, so I laughed at so much of that film that I enjoyed that more. I was just
Mhm.
disappointed in Dumb and Dumber. I thought, yeah, I wasn't expecting much story wise. I just thought I was going to get more laughs out of it because if I'm looking, yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2, where is it on my
And
list?
it
It's
has
number
Jim
40.
Carrey in it, which is very
I
surprising.
know, I know. And again, maybe it's just me. Someone else you might see it and just be like, "Hey, you know what? You might obviously like it better." I did. I love the first Dumb and Dumber. I'm not saying I'm not a Jim Carrey fan. I just felt something missed the mark on this, and
Mm.
it was kind of disappointing.
You
So
have it
yes,
ranked higher than
it is
Beetlejuice,
ranked
right?
higher because from what I remember, because we talk about remembering films. It's hard for me to remember like the 50 films I saw this year because I did laugh at some parts. Um,
Hmm.
but it wasn't like I said. I mean, you say rank higher. Like I said, Dumb and Dumber 2 is at 40, and Beetlejuice is at 43, and I have 54 movies on my list. So it's not like either of these are ranked high. It's just yes, it is a little higher.
Right.
Uh,
Hmm.
because again, I always go to the question is like which if I had to choose which movie to watch again, which one? And I probably would rather see Dumb and Dumber 2 than Beetlejuice. I just felt Beetlejuice missed the mark on so many levels. Now there is some decent parts to it. I'm not gonna say I've seen worse. I just felt the hype, how great the first Beetlejuice was, um, and the characters. It was kind of all there for them, and they just missed the mark. And again, I want you to see Beetlejuice if you get a chance, and I just want to know because I just need
I
to
think I'm
know
going to.
if
Yeah.
my validation's there, or if you're just
Mhm.
like yeah, again we talk about opinions. That's fine. I just need to know. That's all.
Yeah, you will. There's definitely going to be a time where I decide to just hit play on that, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Where do. Sorry about this. Just double checking something real quick.
Oh no, it's okay. This is I'll take this time to for anybody's listening, of course, the offer from last week still stands. So if you're able to identify
If you
what I'm
remember which
talking
video that
about
happened.
and you remember which video that happened in, then and you're the first person to respond, then yeah, you'll have a nice little surprise waiting for you.
Um, but so thinking back, so let me ask you, going back to our 100 movies here.
Yes.
So I've got a little bit of a question for you. So I
Mhm.
want you to look at all the movies on your list. Now I know there's some movies
Yes.
that me and you have seen together, so you got to
Mhm.
take those
Yep.
out of the equation here. What's a
Hmm.
movie on your list? Like if I you're in a play at Blockbuster Video again, Soto. I am your customer. I just walked up. I said, Soto, hey, we've known each other. You've suggested so many good movies. You know my taste. What movie on your list would you tell me to rent? Like you said, Chad, I think you will like this. And it has to be a movie I haven't seen, obviously, because there are some movies I've seen on your list. But out of everything you've seen, like if I came up like, Soto, I need a movie. What do you think I would like? What movie would you suggest to me?
Well, are you what do you have a mood? Is it a night? Like what do you kind of feel or
Nope.
just any movie?
Just any
I
movie
just go, okay.
you know what I've watched. You've seen, you kind of can see my list. I'm just more just I'm. It's not doesn't matter action comedy whatever.
This is chat.
Just it's just Chad. You know me. We've talked. It's not like I'm a
Mhm.
random stranger. I'm a first time customer. You know my likes. I'm one of your regular customers. I've come in. We've talked about films. Use all the information you know about me. What's one movie on your list that
Wow.
I haven't seen that, or because for the most part, there's only a few that I've seen because we've seen the same ones that you say, Chad, you need to see this. I
Oh,
think you will enjoy it. Even if you didn't like it, what movie do you think I will enjoy?
holy shit. Uh, what a question. Because I don't want to do anything bad to you by putting you into a long movie situation. That's just because, ain't nobody got time for that.
And yeah, no one's got
But
time for 4 hours Lawrence Arabia, though I do need to see that someday.
you being who you are. Now it's like, okay, I'm going through this list of being like, okay, what's like a
What's a
must
must,
watch for
Chad?
you?
Yeah, you don't want to make me suffer. You don't want to choose a bad movie for me. I mean, I know we both saw Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. Uh, but yes, now that's a joke. But if I'm
God, I
being
know.
serious, I'm like, Soto, I need a good film. What's a movie you've seen, but you can only choose off your list? What movie would you suggest to me?
Uh, I'm going to be honest with you. As I look at this list, um, because I don't think that you've seen this. Um, I mean, I'm going to have to go with Hell or High Water. I would recommend that one
Ooh,
to you.
okay.
Um, I don't know, but I feel like because you like Tarantino stuff and you like crime stuff, you've seen some good shit with that. You would appreciate a good heist movie that's done well, doesn't ask a lot out of you, and has some pretty funny scenes in it and some pretty badass scenes too. But it's not going to ask for a lot of your brain, and it won't be the most unpredictable movie you've ever seen. But if you like just a good old fashioned heist movie done with slightly different twists, that doesn't ask you to spend 2.5 hours watching it, I'd say I'd recommend Hell or High Water. I know I've gone back and forth with that film, but that is just a pop it in Friday night, watch Hell or High Water, maybe have a couple beers by yourself, some Coors Banquet beers, and if you're just by yourself, like wife isn't home, I definitely recommend that.
Interesting. Yeah, I was looking at my
I
list.
wanted to say Beekeeper, but I refrained.
Thank
I
you.
don't
Thank
want to
you.
actually. I don't want to make you watch because I know
Jason
that
Statham.
I will watch stupid shit because I think it's funny. But the Beekeeper is really just one joke, and as soon as the joke is over, it's kind of
No, if
funny
you look
time.
at our list, there is a lot of stupid shit, and you can kind of see, I mean, I think that's also us just looking, see what's on Tubi, what's on streaming, and it's just funny,
Yeah.
our picks, because there's not, and I'll get to what I would suggest to you in a second, but there's only a few movies that we saw together, and there's reasons behind it. Like both saw Terrifier 2, and that's because I saw the
Oh
first
God.
Terrifier, and that we're like, hey, we both knew we were going to see the second one, so we planned to see that together.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
the Menu was on my list, and you actually caught that a week before I planned, so I had to rush to see it because I wanted to, because I'm like, I really want to see it. I somehow talked you into Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies, though I did tell you it's a shit movie. You still had to
Oh,
see
that
it,
and
but
Slaw.
yeah, well, no, no, no. Well, yes, we did both see Slaw, but that was because of something you said. That's a movie I would never suggest to you. So yeah, so anyhow, so I was looking at my list, like, what would I recommend to Soto? And there
Yeah.
was a few, like, I'm like, I can't
Funny
say Clerks.
list.
I'm like, I can't say Clerks 3 because Kevin Smith. And I'm like, it's not the best, but I think he would enjoy it. I
Yeah.
almost went with Fighting with My Family. I'm like, he likes wrestling movies. He doesn't know Paige that well,
Yeah.
but I think then I thought
It's all
about
Peter
it,
Berg. Oh,
and based on I don't want to say this is a cheat. I just know based on your reaction that you're interested in it. Um, I would actually tell you to go see My Old Ass. We've
oh,
talked
of
about this
course.
movie, and just the concept. And
Oh, I know.
funny thing is,
I
Soto, when
would.
I rearranged my list, this got higher. This is one of the movies that kind of was in the middle of the road, low. And as I was thinking
Yeah.
about it, it's now at my number 17 spot. When I did my
Oh,
like middle
wow.
update, so it's gone up because I'm like, it's not that it's a good movie. I was just kind of disappointed with the ending. Kind of like you said, you think it goes in a direction, or it's also a movie like, how do you end it? Because some movies you look like, yeah, they're going to end it, but it's going to piss some people off. Like, you can't, and that's
Of
what I'm
course.
like. I was just curious, but besides that point, like, it's a very good coming of age story. Yes, this girl takes mushrooms in the middle of the forest and talks to her older self. Fucking hilarious.
I love that.
But it's not.
Yeah.
That's not the main point. It's just and you like a little teenage angst that has a little bit in it. But it is more of a teenage love story. Just I think
My
you would
old
enjoy it.
ass.
I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah. Of
I do think you would enjoy Fighting with
course
My
not.
Family because it is a wrestling kind of based on a true
Mhm.
story. You just, like I said, you weren't watching when Paige became a superstar. So, but it's still
No.
funny as hell. It
No.
was well done, and you can kind of see what you think behind the scenes are. So,
It's in your top 10. Wow.
yeah, no, I liked it. But I also knew, I watched that time, so I knew some of the story because I knew how she got debuted on Raw. But there's a lot of that backstory which I very vaguely knew. Like, I knew she was very young when she got into it because she was only like 12, 13 when her parents were like training
Mhm.
her. But yeah, so I think because again we go to nostalgia. I knew there was a wrestler I knew. Um, but it's still, like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, even if this was just a totally fictional story, it was fun. It was decent, and you kind of root for the underdog in this. And yeah, Dwayne, The Rock's in it, but he's the only thing that seemed out of place in this. But obviously, because he
The
was
Rock?
produced, yeah, he produced it, so he has a
Oh, okay. That
very
makes
small
sense.
role.
Yeah.
But like in
Yep.
the where he was in real life when I'm like, this. But yeah, he kind of had to appear in it. So, like I said, it is a good flick. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It is one that once it's all done, if it was on, and I would watch it again. I can't say that about all of the movies, but I would definitely watch it again. So, but I would suggest to you one
Interesting.
day check out My Old Ass. I just like the title. I think it was also one of the very first movies I saw. I think it was like the fourth.
Yeah.
It was on the very
Oh
first
my
podcast
God.
we did. I think it was like movie. I saw this after Under the Bed. So maybe that helped it a little bit because I was so fucking disappointed in Under the Bed. Um, but yeah,
Oh my
that's what I
god.
would tell you.
No. Okay. Cool. I would definitely check it out. I mean, I see it. I think it's on Hulu or something like that. I see it all the time when I'm browsing, and I'm like, my old ass. I was like, I just gotta hit play on that. That sounds interesting.
You do, and I think you would enjoy it. Like it's something that
Yeah,
doesn't ask a lot out of you. You
I
don't
like
have to
that.
think. Yeah, you don't have to think. And I think it was a good runtime. I feel like it was an hour and a half, hour 40. So
Oh,
it's the
even better.
perfect runtime. There's not.
Oh,
I have not
better.
seen many long movies. I don't. I think the longest movie I
I've seen
saw
too
was
many.
Wicked. I think 3 hours. I think that was almost 3 hours. But I think
I've
that's the
seen the
longest.
most long movies,
You
and I
have.
hate them the most.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me, really. But still, I've seen some stupid 3+ hour movies this year. I don't want to do that in the second half.
No, and I'm looking at doing things different the second half as well. It's like I'm trying to rejuvenate. I'm finding the different because there's been some reviews which I've had notes on and I don't hit all the notes, and there's some that I forget to take notes and I'm winging it. So even when I think it's because I listen back sometimes as I'm just trying to cut it all together. I'm just like God.
Mhm.
I'm like I could have done better on this, or I'm like God. I really didn't say much about it, and so I'm like I have a plan for the second half new style. Not that it's new style, just definitely questions. I hit the 5 W's and how like I think I'm like I'm gonna really be intense with these and not intense, but you know what I mean. Like I'm gonna be
Mhm.
thorough and just tell people why I saw this, who this movie is for, blah blah blah. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward because I will tell
Yeah.
you I kind of want to save the surprise, but what my first movie is going to be. But Soda, I will tell you this movie's from 1981. Um,
Oh,
So it's going to be an older one, and it's an
okay.
older horror movie, and I'll leave it at that.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
That
don't
could
know
be
if
kind
you'll
of
ever
cool
see it.
vibes.
I don't think it'll ever be on your radar, but I'll explain why this movie's been on my radar for a little
Ah,
while. So, and it just
interesting.
became
Okay.
free
Cool.
again, and I kind of forgot about it. Hence, again, the forgotten movies. And I'm like, I need to see this while it's free. But yeah,
Nice.
but like we've talked about, I've enjoyed as much as we shit on some of the shitty movies we've seen. I've enjoyed at least watching new movies again. Maybe not to the
Oh yeah.
extent because it's like, all right, I gotta find time. Like, all right, I got an hour and a half. Let me just hit play on something. Oh, let me hit play on Slaw. What the fuck was I thinking on that one?
Oh, thank you for that. Yes, that was. Never thought I'd see a movie that bad. Well, I mean, Pro Wrestlers vs Zombies was pretty close, but
So is Sharks
Flaw
in the
I will
Corner.
never forget.
Yeah,
Oh God,
but
let's never speak of that movie.
we've seen those Tubi specials, and I know we'll see some more. I am pretty sure I've said this before when we were talking about Slaw. I think Slaw is going to be the worst movie that I've seen all year. I do not think I'm going to go worse, even though we talked about like Popeye's Revenge. Winnie the Pooh was a Blood
Mhm.
and Hunt, and Mickey Mouse has a Mousetrap, like those kind of movies. I know those are going to be shit. I don't think they're going to be as bad as Slaw. I don't think I am going to put myself something worse through Slaw. So it could happen.
Flaw special.
I think that's just gonna stay. I think that's gonna be the worst movie for both of us. You know what? Hopefully you don't watch anything worse. You only watch Slaw
I
because of
hope
a dumbass comment you made on after Under the Bed. You're like,
it's your
there's something that's worse than that. I have to see it. I told you so. You don't have to see this one. This is okay because this isn't a movie. Though Kevin, no,
no to do it,
you
and
did.
then
You
you know
kept your
what?
word. You kept your word. So I commend
Thank
you
you.
for keeping your word. But if you would have been like, I can't see this, I would have understood, and I would have been like, I
Then
allowed it. I
when
allow it. Because to me, it's not. I mean, I guess it comes to definition. What's a real movie? Like it wasn't in theaters. It was made for streaming, and it was just like it's hard for me to call it a real movie. But I mean, it's a movie. It has a or excuse me, beginning, middle, and end. As shitty as it all is, so technically, it's a real movie. But Soto, as you say, somebody wrote that. Somebody wrote the movie
we did,
Slaw. They put pen
they
to
did,
paper.
and they got paid for it, and they were like, "This
And
is
they
good
got Kevin
enough."
Nash.
And Kevin Nash said, "I agree for the right amount of money."
Yep, pretty much. And top billing. Somehow
Start
he got
well.
top billing, even though he's not like any of them made it. He's the biggest name in the movie. Do not get me wrong.
He's the most memorable person to me in the movie
Well,
that I
that's
can
because
think
it's
of.
Kevin.
Yeah.
If the character Kevin, well, he plays himself, so it's kind of hard for anyone else. But if it was just an unknown guy, who was a wrestler,
Yeah.
no, it would. I don't think it would be as memorable. It was only memorable because it was Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
Because you're like,
very
oh,
true.
okay, how did Kevin Nash get into this film? I don't know. but he's here. So is Glacier. I remember when Glacier debuted in
Oh, I
WCW. Like,
know.
oh, I'm
Oh my
laughing. Like,
God, he had that one. Yeah.
it's like Kevin Nash is like, I agree to do this, but I'm going to bring some of my friends, supply food and beer, and I'll take this money, and we'll all be good. And I think that's how they got him. Oh,
That's exactly what happened.
it's got to. And we've talked way more about Slot than
I can
we plan.
imagine. I know. It keeps getting so much traction, but it's both of our worst movies that we've seen this year. That's something that we can be like, yep, that's the worst I've seen this year.
Yeah. And we saw Pro Wrestling versus Zombies. I've seen Killer Movie. I don't even get.
Oh God.
There's bad. So again, I don't think we'll watch anything worse. I do not plan. Like when I put out Slaw, I kind of knew. I'm like, this could be the worst movie I've seen, but I'm going to find out. I don't think I'm going in planning on finding something worse than Slaw. So I think that's going to be my
No.
last movie. I think that's going to be your last, but you never know. Because we tend to do these 2B specials as a joke. And then one day you're
I
like,
know.
fuck it, it's Halloween. What's this? And we watch and we're like, oh shit, this is worse. So anything's possible.
Right.
We said in the
Of
very
course,
beginning of this people have opinions, but
I mean, I could randomly wake up and just be like, I want to watch a worse movie than Slaw, and I'm gonna turn every rock under Tubi until I find it. It's not today. That's not a feeling I have right now, but you never know.
I
A personal challenge.
I did want to say it. I'm like, I dare you to find one. Because the hard part is, what if you watch a movie that is shit, but you're like, it's not as bad as Slaw? You're like, damn it, I got to now watch another one. Um,
That's what I'm saying. It's like that's why I gotta pick a good one from the cover and be like, there's no way this is better than Slaw. There's so many of them on Tubi, man. I could literally throw a dart and find one
yep.
that look worse than Slaw. So we'll see. To be continued.
To be continued. That whole point of this is we're halfway there, 100 movies in, and 100 more to
Halfway.
go. I think movie number 9. What movie just got released today? Oh, Ballerina number 94 just got released today. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're
94.
chugging. I I know. I look at this. I have a notebook, and I have it in order, basically like every episode, what we talked about, but like from one to what now 100, and it's just like, there's a time in January where you saw Oppenheimer. That was number one, and here we are.
I
Minecraft
literally
movie.
saw that on New Year's Day.
Yeah, we both started on
Something
New
like
Year's
that.
Day. I saw two movies on New Year's Day. I was like, I ain't going out. Fuck it. And I think I saw Clerks 3 and Jim Henson. Those are my first two. And Jim
Jim
Henson's still
Henson
in my
was there.
top. Actually, they're both still in my top 10, I think. I think they
Jim
are.
Henson
Holy
was
shit.
there for a while.
Yeah, Jim Henson's 4, Clerks 3 is 6. And again, I'm not saying Clerks 3 was a great film, but if you love the Kevin's, it was fun. And like I said, it was our lives in a way. If we never got married, that would be us. So I enjoyed it. That's all that matters. Oh, so I think that might do it. Unless you have anything you want to
Yeah.
add, for this podcast. We have seen so many movies, just not this year, just in our lives. Some good, some
Think about
bad.
it. Like we're gonna do the same exact thing that we've just done. Now we're
For
gonna
the next six
duplicate it
months.
for the rest of the year. A whole new year of brand new bullshit that we'll be complaining about.
Oh my god, I cannot wait for this. I almost can't wait for this year to be. It's like when we were doing the sports. I've said this from time to. It's fun, but man, it just adds up after a while. And it's like we talked about everyone like, but no, we're gonna get through this
Yeah.
because again, I know you have movies that are on your docket. I already have
Oh,
two
yeah.
or three. FYI, I will say this. So I saw the name of this film. It doesn't come out on Tubi until July 11th. But the name
Why not?
alone has me curious. Now, could this be a worse than Slaw special? I don't know. I don't know anything about this movie. I wrote this down to remind myself on title alone. Soto, there is a movie called Get Off My Lawn. I don't know much else. I think
Wow.
it's a bad horror movie. So I'm like, I need to keep an eye on this because I'm like, I think it would be hilarious just on title alone, but it could suck. So yes, I don't know,
Okay.
but look that up. That could be in my future. Get off my lawn, just because we like to joke about being old men, because we are pretty much
Be a great
there.
poster.
Oh
Yep.
my god! So anyhow, that will do it. We've seen way too many movies. Hold on a
Hmm.
sec. Let me get one thing real quick.
Yeah.
FYI, we always joked about um, not having intros and outros for our stuff.
Mhm.
We're like, yeah, whatever. We just end it. So I asked ChatGPT to write me an outro. write us an
Oh my
outro.
God.
So
Sure.
I'm going to ask you right now, is there anything you want to add before I end this?
No, sir. Please, present it.
Okay. And that's our show. If you made it this far, seek help. Seriously. But hey, thanks for pretending to care. We've been No One Is Listening Anyway, the podcast equivalent of shouting into a void with jokes. Catch you next time, or not. We won't know. We don't check the stats.